Good evening and welcome to Up South, your one-stop destination for all the top news stories of the day from South India. With me, T. S. Sudhir. A top story from Tamil Nadu, where pressure is mounting on the AIADMK government to order a CBI probe into the death of Muthukumaraswamy, an official of the Tamil Nadu government who committed suicide on the 20th of February by jumping in front of a train in Tirunelveli. And the needle of suspicion in this case has been pointing to former Agricultural Minister S.S. Krishnamurthy. Now, Krishnamurthy was sacked from the government in March and also removed from the party post. But speaking exclusively to Headlines Today, Muthukumaraswamy's colleague has revealed that the then minister's secretaries were pressurizing Muthukumaraswamy regarding appointments in his department. And therefore, the opposition has been demanding that nothing less than a CBI probe will do. The AIADMK government in this case maintains that a CID probe, which has been ordered, will do justice. Joining me now from Chennai is C. Rajashekharan, who is a lawyer but is also a Jayalalitha supporter. Also Mr. Chandra Mohan of the AIADMK party, and my colleague Shisha Reddy, also from Chennai. Shisha, by sacking the minister, the AIADMK government has in a sense admitted that something was wrong, which is why they removed S.S. Krishnamurthy both from the government as well as from his party post. But do you get the feeling that the government is not willing to do anything more in this case? Because in an election year, if there is anything proved against Krishnamurthy, that could become a huge political liability.
Well, exactly, Sudhir, because as far as this particular case is concerned, yes, he was removed on the day when the news broke out. But again, the AIADMK is in no mood to accept, what has gone wrong. And even today, when the AIADMK ministers were speaking to the media, they did maintain that a CBCID probe is more than enough to bring out the information in this particular case. And also, even when the opposition parties have been demanding for a CBI inquiry, the AIADMK is not willing to take any sort of criticism. And having said that, now that O. Paneerselvam has been trying to act upon, even though he's not been giving any concrete information on what is happening, even the CBCID, even everybody is kept in dark as far as this investigation process is concerned. The AIADMK clearly does not want to take any blame at this point in time. Having said that, it's a crucial time for the AIADMK because Jayalalitha is going through this trial. So a lot of things that AIADMK is trying to maintain silence, and they don't want just another burden to add on whatever is happening right now to them.
Right. Mr. Rajashekharan, the opposition really is putting the AIADMK government on the back foot. Now, we saw what happened in Karnataka in the D.K. Ravi case, where a combined opposition actually forced Siddaramaiah to go in for a CBI probe. Do you think the AIADMK government in Tamil Nadu should also perhaps do the same?
See, this whole episode of the opposition going against the ruling party and all is farce. And the fact of the matter remains, the government has taken the right step. We should appreciate the government for making the minister step down, for the police CBCID to investigate the matter on merits. So there will be no kind of influence by the ex-minister in the case which is to be investigated by the CBCID police of Tamil Nadu, which is one of the best police in the whole of the country. So all this is just cheap politicking by the opposition, and they want to score cheap brownie points in the whole opposing all this.
Right. Mr. Chandra Mohan, Mr. Rajashekharan, they are calling it cheap politicking by the opposition parties. The AIADMK party also agitated. You even went in protest again at the Chief Minister's residence in Chennai. Now, do you get the feeling that the AIADMK government is in absolutely no mood to relent as far as the CBI probe is concerned?
Obviously, they don't want the truth to come out. That is the fact. Because if the minister is asked to step down, then we already know what the fact is. A mistake has happened. Corruption has happened. So what they're trying to do is protect themselves by asking the CBCID to do the investigation, which is kind of funny because how is a body which is investigative body which comes under the government do a proper investigation? So what is this? It's an hogwash. That is why we are demanding a CBI inquiry, independent CBI inquiry into this case. This is essential because honest officers are being killed throughout our country, and this has to stop.
Right. Mr. Rajshekharan, let's be honest. Now you have Krishnamurthy, who is a powerful politician in Tamil Nadu for the AIADMK. Plus you have the top boss of the AIADMK also fighting a very difficult legal battle in court in which the judgment should come sometime this month. So in many senses, the ruling party in Tamil Nadu is pretty much on the back foot, which is why probably they do not want more trouble at hand.
See, the conviction of the former Chief Minister, Madam Dr. Jayalalitha, is now in the trial stage in the High Court. So she is only the trial accused, and she can come out. The benefit of doubt can be the outcome of the High Court judgment also. So you cannot hypothetically accuse the former Chief Minister Dr. Jayalalitha for something which is going to come in her favor or may not. You have to wait and see for the outcome of the judgment. So before that, you cannot just presume something and accuse the government and the minister, which is not right. We should go on the merit of each and every case.
Okay. Right. Mr. Chandramohan, last word to you. What would you expect the AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha to do now?
Well, we would request the Chief Minister Paneerselvam, because he is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, not Jayalalitha, to take appropriate action and order a CBI probe. Because if they have nothing to hide, then why are they insisting on a CBCID probe, which is a farce? So we want the current Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. O. Paneerselvam, to do this, to order a CBI probe, because Jayalalitha doesn't run this government. And if Mr. O. Paneerselvam is going to be a puppet, then I don't know why he is being a Chief Minister. Maybe he should step down, because that is not why we elected them to govern us. So if you ask me what you want Jaya to do, nothing, because she's not the one who's supposed to make these decisions. The Chief Minister has to be making these decisions.
Right. Well, Mr. Chandramohan, who runs the government in Tamil Nadu? Of course, $1 million question. Thanks a lot to you and to Mr. Rajshekharan and Shisha Reddy for joining us there from Chennai. News now from Bengaluru, where a class 12 student was shot dead at her hostel in Bengaluru by an office attendant of the hostel late last night. The murder has shocked Bengaluru and of course raises disturbing questions about the safety of students inside hostels.
It is a murder that has shocked Bengaluru. A class 12 student was shot dead allegedly by the office attendant at a hostel of a residential school in the city. The victim's roommate was injured. The accused Mahesh was arrested by the police along with his weapon.
An attendant in the school, it's a plus 2 school, the pre-university certification program goes on, has entered the room where the girls were staying and studying and opened fire using what we suspect to be a country-made weapon, and in the process killed a girl.
The 18-year-old student and her friend were in their room on the 3rd floor of the hostel when they heard a knock at 11 p.m. and opened the door. The accused, who was working in the school for past 2 years, shot at the girl at point-blank range. What provoked Mahesh to shoot the girl is being investigated. The police suspect that Mahesh had fired at her for spurning his advances and rejecting his love. The victim's family has rejected this line of investigation.
This shooting has raised questions on how safe such hostels are for students. Now the police also plans to sensitize wardens to ensure lack of access to anyone but the students to the rooms beyond a particular time. Pratibha Raman, Bangalore, Headlines Today.
Pratibha Raman is live with me from the Commissioner's office in Bengaluru. Pratibha, just to take off from the point that you made in your piece to camera in that story, what are really the steps that the police plans to take to sensitize those running those hostels to ensure that they are safe for the inmates even late at night?
Well, in fact, the first step that they would take would be to sensitize the wardens to ensure that nobody other than the students will have access after a particular point in time. Because in this particular case, we are talking about this office attendant who went on to the third floor of the hostel and barged inside with the country revolver. And how did he manage to procure that weapon? And how did he manage to get into that third floor? Was there no kind of security arrangements by the warden? Though he has been staying there for about 2 years, he's been working there as an attendant for the office as well as for the students. It makes him an insider, and that has proved to be advantageous. So there has to be some kind of a systematic protocol that needs to be put in place in all these hostels to ensure that no such incidents really repeat themselves. Sudhir.
Right, Pratibha Raman, thanks a lot for joining us there from Bengaluru. News now from Telangana. Now, India's 29th state, the youngest state, will be a golden Telangana. That was the promise made by Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. But as the financial year came to an end, one saw a very shocking sight. Government officials virtually turning into recovery agents to collect all the property tax in different districts of Telangana, including capital city Hyderabad. And what's more, they were even taking away white goods, including televisions and refrigerators and even front doors, to ensure the people actually paid the property tax.
This isn't funny. These recovery agents of the Telangana government have just removed the doors from Narsamma's home in Medak district because she has not paid the property tax for her dwelling. Narsamma's neighbor has lost his LCD TV set to the Telangana government. The situation is no better in Hyderabad. Sudarshan Chari's shop was forcibly shut down by Municipal Corporation's collection team, which relented only when he borrowed 10,000 rupees from a neighbor to pay the amount on the spot.
मेरे को इज्जत का सवाल होगा इधर फिर 10-15 मिनट आधा घंटा तक मेरे को जरा परेशान करे तो बाजू से पड़ोसी से पैसा लेके आके भर के फिर चाबी को लाया दिया.
They're calling the police. They're using police protection and they're telling we have the authority to collect the amount, you have to pay.
With the Telangana government insisting on 100% targets for all panchayats and urban local bodies, the methods employed had created an extortion type of atmosphere. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Now, the Madras High Court has cleared the release of Tamil movie Kombam, which is to release this Friday. In fact, the movie stars Karthi and it had been in the middle of a controversy because Pudhiya Tamilgam, a group, had opposed it on the grounds that its story revolves around animosity between different caste groups and had the potential to incite violence in southern Tamil Nadu. But the makers of the film say the movie has nothing to do with caste animosity. Joining me now from Chennai is Shisha Reddy. Shisha, yet another movie in Tamil Nadu that is cleared by the censor board but gets into a spot of bother with some fringe group or the other. Now, they probably have an issue with it without even seeing the film. Are the makers of the film anticipating trouble even though the Madras High Court has now cleared the movie?
Well, of course, Sudhir, because, until the time of the release, the makers of the film are still anticipating some sort of a threat from these fringe groups. Remember, there is some sort of a pattern as far as such movies are concerned in Tamil Nadu. And even before, films like Deva Magan, Kamal Haasan and Shivaji Ganeshan's film and Sharat Kumar's Natamai, which had strong lines, on Deva community, on untouchability and strong subjects, in fact, face something like this. And now it has reached to the level where, in fact, after the censor board clears it, there is still another thing that they had to get clearance from. So this looks like how in the recent past films like Vishwarupam also faced a similar controversy where Muslim groups were staging a protest even before watching the film. So yes, there has to be some sort of a strong note put on these particular things because even otherwise such things will only continue to continue to happen in Tamil Nadu, or not just in Tamil Nadu, for the other films as well.
Right. In fact, actor Surya, who is Karthi's brother, had tweeted yesterday saying Komban is all about beautiful relationships and don't understand this sudden sensitivity 2 days before release. Is the film getting support from the Tamil film industry given the fact that it has run into this kind of a controversy?
Well, yes, of course, the film fraternity is supporting Karthi and the makers of Komban, because remember, as I was pointing out, there was films that were in such controversy in the recent past as well, when, Vishwarupam had released. There a lot of online support that was pouring for Kamal Haasan, and for this particular film, Komban, there's a hashtag that's been created, I support Komban. So people have been supporting in favor of Komban. So there's a good news that High Court has given a go-ahead for the release of this particular film.
Right, Shisha Reddy, thanks a lot for joining us from Chennai. In fact, some breaking news coming in again related to Tamil Nadu, that the Enforcement Directorate has seized property worth 542 crores. Now this property belongs to the Maran family, and this is in connection with the Aircel Maxis case, and also 742 crore rupees worth of assets attached by the Enforcement Directorate. Now that's going to be seen as a huge blow to the Maran family, the Maran brothers, Dayanidhi Maran and Kalanidhi Maran, in the critical Aircel Maxis case. Well, that's it then on Up South this evening. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.